let's talk some Major League Baseball. So since I brought it up, quick kind of Guardians season preview here. I said I'm really excited about this Guardians team this year. Really excited to see how they grow. My excitement dampers a little bit though, and it's nothing to do with the Guardians. It has to do with the main competition they face, obviously, once they get to the American League playoffs, which seems like it's not their fault. Yet no matter, and I know we played the Yankees really tough last year, but it just seems like, and it hurts and it sucks, that almost no matter what this team does, they're a little bit closer to the Yankees, but it almost seems like Houston's completely out of their league.
I don't think Houston's going to be as good as they were last year. I think the Yankees are still going to be good, but I think that the Guardians made some really good, some really strategic pickups with Josh Bell.
I agree.
If he can hit 30, Naylor gets up to 30, maybe Oscar Gonzalez, because I think Oscar Gonzalez he's gonna hit 40 home runs at some point. His biggest problem was laying off the low sweeping stuff, the low curves, the low sliders, sinker stuff like that. But I think that they signed Zanino. Whenever he gets, he's 100%. The last full season he played, he hit 33 home runs. I believe he was an all-star as well. So on top of that, you got the Guardians, farm system, which I do know very well. I covered the Lake County Captains last year, and knew a lot of players from there who went up to Double-A and even Triple-A. I mean, they have one of the top 5 farm systems in the league. On top of, like I said, really good strategic moves. I would have liked to see them get more pitching. I really trust their top 3 of Bieber and Tristan McKenzie, I believe I think McKenzie's going to win a Cy Young.
Yeah, I concur 100%.
And I like Quantrill. But after them, I have no faith. So I would have liked to see them get another pitcher, but they have really good pitchers down in the minors who might get their shot in the majors this year. Is just so guys like Gavin Williams and Tanner Bybee, Espino, if he can get that shoulder good. We still got Emmanuel Clase, who is the best closer in the game. So can we beat the Yankees? Yeah, I 100% believe that we can. It's just going to be how do these players progress through the season? And what is it, especially the young guys, someone like an Oscar Gonzalez, is he, he had a lot of great hits, but is he going to, 6'4", big, monstrous type dude, SpongeBob there. Can he translate that into power? Can Jimenez, stay at 20 plus homers? Is Jose going to be around 40 homers again? Can Straw, not hit 215 for the season? Is Stephen Kwan going to be that 300 hitter? There's so many questions, but I think that this Indians team is just very well built. Excuse me. Still getting over COVID, guys. So
it's all right.
Bear with me.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off that, is there, center field maybe? I mean, is there a chance you call Valera or somebody there maybe midway for the season? Do they try to upgrade over Straw? Is that really the only true weakness?
Defensively, no, because it's Straw's defense. I mean, he was a Golden Glove winner last year. It's the hitting that that hurts Straw. And if I'm being 100% honest, I think that if you decided to, bring up someone like Valera and he's hitting well, I think you're actually probably moving Kwan to center and putting Valera in left. So that's where I think that would go. But I mean, defensively, you're losing a Golden Glover. So I think that you got to hope that everyone above him is hitting the crap out of the ball.
Hey, listen, I like Straw more than most people. When people were banging on him last year, basically saying cut him, I always defended Straw because unless you're the Yankees or one of these teams like the Dodgers that spend unlimited money, you're gonna have holes in your lineup somewhere. It's just in the past the Guardians would go through, their top 3 or top 4, and then they'd have no hitting in the bottom of their lineup. Now, over the last couple of years, they pretty much have fixed the bottom of their order. Outfield has been significantly upgraded with the additions of Gonzalez and Quan. Middle of the infield seems pretty set. Obviously, they have a lot of prospects, and I still love Ahmed Rosario. It's why I was hesitant. There was a lot of talk about trading Rosario at the deadline, and I kept saying no, no, no. He's so consistent at both the plate and his defense. I understand they have so many young shortstops, but I love the way he played. Obviously you mentioned Zanito replacing Hedges at catcher. Not that many catchers, hit right now over 220, 230. You just then get over that Mendoza line of 200. So I think this team's really good. Last year, I projected them to win 90 games, predicted them to win the AL Central. I believe they ended up winning 92. And this year, I think it's going to be about the same. I think it's going to be 90 games. And again, I think depending on who they play in that ALDS, that they could have a legitimate chance to make it to the ALCS.
I say they're going to win 102 games this year.
Really?
I think the holes that I'm going extremely optimistic and saying Rosario is an anomaly to me because he's got I mean, when he hits home runs, he hits the crap out of home runs. But he also has the ability to hit the ball the other way. He could pull it. He's got crazy speed. I think that he really probably spent a lot of this offseason fixing and trying, better contact, better power. So, you're going to have, if Quan improves, over 300 leading off, great speed. Rosario hitting 2, great speed. 3, you're going to have Jose. We know what he can do. 4, probably Josh Bell, who can hit 30, 40 homers. Then you're going to have Josh Naylor after him. He hit over 20 homers last year, and I think he could hit more this year. Oscar Gonzalez. And then, depending on who
7, I would have mentioned Zanito 8, and then Straw 9.
You might go Jimenez at 6, and then Jimenez hit over 20 homers. Yeah, Gonzalez 7.
That's the thing. This team has really good versatility. I think you can move guys. I think even Naylor and Bell, you could switch 4 and 5 some days. I think you can move guys 4 for 7 and really play around with it. I think this is you just went through it. That's legitimately 7, 8 guys in the lineup. And again, if Straw hits, that's 9. So for this team, and they're still really, really young, by the way, and they're still growing, which is phenomenal. Who in your opinion, because I haven't really made up my mind yet, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know who the quote unquote number 1 contender would be for the Central. I don't know who their biggest rival this year will be, because I don't trust Minnesota or Chicago. I think Detroit's really young, but I kind of feel like they're a year away.
I think you're still probably looking at the Twins, especially if Byron Buxton can stay healthy. That would really hurt them last year. The fact that he was pretty much hurt a lot of the season. I would say probably Minnesota. I mean, I know Chicago got a little better too, but I just don't see a team in the Central even coming close to touching the Guardians. So, as much as I want to answer your question and give you a team, I'm going to say none.
Okay, no, it's fair. It's not being a homer either. Like, we would generally own Minnesota and Chicago. I mean, Minnesota they think they're so great, and then we have gone in there and just outperformed them. Okay.
The answer to your question is D, none of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Bigger bases, pitch clock, banning the shift. I know we spent a lot of time when you were on Brandon's World last year about this. We agreed on the shift part and everything on it, but starting with the shift, taking away strategy from the game, I hate it. I don't like it, but I actually think it's going to benefit the Guardians because they already know how to hit the other way and pull the ball. They're one of these very balanced old school teams. They play baseball the right way, and we didn't shift a lot last year as it was, so it's not going to affect us defensively either.
So I'm going to talk as a fan of the game and not as a Guardians fan.
Go ahead.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. you're taking strategy away from the manager. You got a guy who can't hit the ball to the left side of the or to the right side of the field, so you shift over to the left, and a lot of times it works out. So to take that away, to take away an out, almost a guaranteed out, is really dumb to me. And I think that it's not something that I agree with. You're taking away some of the fundamentals of baseball, things you learn at a really young age. I mean, I learned the shift at 10 years old, 9 or 10 years old, and you're taking that away from what you're teaching as well. And then at higher levels, you're taking that tactical advantage away. And for what? Is it to make the game more exciting? I don't know. I don't like it. I think that you're and I don't want to sound like one of these old heads, but I
No,
do
go ahead, because you are older than me, and I sound like an
Mhm.
old head. I feel like every time I talk baseball, because I am a complete traditionalist when it comes to the sport.
I agree with you 100%. I think that it does benefit the Guardians, but I think that as a fan of baseball, I hate the rule change. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. There's nothing more I can say about it, except I think that it's just really stupid, and it takes away from the strategy of the game.
Are you going to be like me, and your OCD is going to go crazy staring at this pitch clock?
So covering the captains last year. There was a pitch clock in the minor leagues. That's where they
Yeah.
started it. Now the difference was the batter didn't have to be in the box. I think it's 8 seconds, with
I
at
believe
least
it's
eight
eight
seconds.
seconds in Major League Baseball. Yep.
They didn't have to do that in the minors. So um
So was it just for the pitcher then?
it was just the pitcher.
Okay.
Just the pitcher. Um I think if the batter wasn't set by the time but it wasn't like other you didn't have there was
You didn't have a designated time to be in the box. Okay,
right,
makes
right.
sense.
So it did speed up some of the games, but other games, no. I mean, it was. I mean, if you ever go to a minor league game, they usually take a lot longer because some of the games, unless you get two really good prospects who have a pitching duel, a lot of those games are high scoring affairs. But as far as in the majors so far, I hate it. You don't allow the batters to get set, get into the rhythm. You got pitchers who are trying to pitch fast. It's almost like I mean, I don't even know. I mean, like what game was it where the game ended with
Yeah,
bases loaded,
I
tied
think
game?
I know Boston was involved. I don't remember their opponent.
Was it Atlanta?
Might have been Atlanta. I know it was one of the first games of spring training. The game ends because he wasn't set. It was bases loaded, 3-2 count with 2 outs.
And the batter and the ump said the batter wasn't in the box with it, with 8 seconds left, and that was the end of the game. And I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
Like, how awful would that be if if that's a regular season game, it then goes to extra innings. But like, if you're ending the game on that, you're taking away from the game. Pitchers do things to get themselves ready. A lot of pitchers have had to change how they stand and how they deliver. Batters, they adjust their gloves, think about what's coming next. You're speeding the game up. You're not going to give pitchers enough time to get the pitches that they want across the plate. You're not giving batters time to think about what could be possibly coming next. I think you're going to see some games that are going to be a whole lot of home runs because this will be a lot of fastballs. And then you're going to see a lot of games that will be real low scoring because you're just going to have pitchers throwing sweeping stuff the entire game and hitters just swinging because they don't have time to think about what's coming next. I don't like it. I mean, I shouldn't say this. I think that it worked okay last year in the minors without the batter having to be in the box with 8 seconds. But I also think that, and I know they're trying to speed up the games, but there's just baseball. It's one of those games where when you are a hitter at the plate, when you are a pitcher, it is a chess match. When you're a hitter, okay, it's a 2-1 count. Is he going to give me something over the plate? Is he going to try and make me, swing at something? Okay, I'm hitting 316 on the season. I got 12 home runs. Am I going to slap it the other way? You're taking a lot of the thought process out of the game. I don't like it. And I think that it's, maybe by the end of the year, I might change my tune. But as of right now, from what we've seen of it in the preseason, I don't like it at all.
What about these bigger bases? What's the deal with that?
Um,
Made them 4 times the size for what?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. And it's really odd to me because the steal rate is like dramatically down. Like the steal success rate is dramatically down.
Wasn't
Even
it
though
supposed to be the opposite?
yeah, it was supposed to be the opposite, and the steal rate is dramatically the success rate of stealing base has been down in the preseason. I mean, obviously it's a preseason, so you're when you're looking at who is stealing the bases, it's not the best of the best, but um I don't know. It's just a really weird thing to do, and I'm not even 100% sure. I mean, like, I know the reasoning for it. I just don't know if it makes any sense, and I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where I get, we'll see when the season. It's everything is a lot of we'll
Yeah.
see when the season
No.
starts because preseason is still preseason, and
When you go to a baseball game, it's really sad. I mean, I was around people this year at the Guardians game. I went to two very entertaining games. One of them was against the Yankees. One of them was against the Royals this year. They were both very well pitched. I think the one against the Yankees was like 3-1, and one against the Royals like 2-1. So they were both very well pitched ball games. And the one thing I noticed was with both games, it really didn't matter how fast the inning went. It didn't matter if there was a lot of bases and a lot of men on base, didn't matter if there were any men on bases. You looked around the park. The park may have been completely full, but kids and adults, not just little kids, most people were on their phones, not paying attention to the game until mostly the late innings. And I don't think that it's going to change that. And as we know, baseball's biggest problem is marketing, and this isn't solving any of it.
I think the pitch clock might change it might change the attention. As you were saying, you're not going to have as much time to, you might have a minute in between pitches sometimes. So you might be on your phone, then you look up, watch the pitch, go back down. You're not going to have that luxury. So I can understand it from that perspective. As a fan of the game, watching it, going to a game and watching it, but like I said, it takes away, for me at least, it takes away some of that strategy of the game because now these catchers and coaches they got to get that pitch in real quick to to the pitcher. There might not be time, and the same thing goes for the hitter. You're trying to figure out what's going to be thrown. So attention span for the fan, absolutely. I think it's going to speed it up, and I think the fans are going to be more into it. And I do believe also, if they're saying that they could cut down up to 20%, 20 to 25% of the game time. Okay, I mean, well, then instead of a 3.5 hour game, you're 2 hours, 2 hours 45 minutes, 2 hours, 2.5 hours maybe, and that's nice for the fans as well. But you're taking some of the romance out of baseball, and I don't like it.